if you are a projector, that type in human design, or you are somebody who has a lot of projected energy in their chart, and if you know what that means, you'll know what that means, then this video is for you. And it's specifically for those projectors or people with a lot of projected energy who have had really challenging childhoods. Now, if you had a childhood that, whether you would call it abusive or traumatic, or you just didn't really feel very safe to be yourself, you didn't feel like you could fully express your emotions, your happiness, your sadness, your anger, your frustration, if you didn't feel like you could really be seen and heard and express yourself freely, your creativity, your playfulness, your joy, then this video is for you. Now, I was working with a client the other day who is a projector, like myself, who had a challenging, very, very challenging childhood, like myself. And one of the things that she had been expressing is just how much she really wants her family, her existing family, to validate her experience, to go, oh, yes, that was awful for you. Now, this is something we really need. We really need as human beings to have other people listen to us, witness us, believe us. And if you are somebody who is really seeking that validation from family and they're not giving it to you, they're like, oh, it wasn't that bad, that was normal, it's all just dismissed and like treated as if it was nothing, dismissed, minimized, and you're still feeling this sense of like, yeah, but I need them to understand that this was effing awful, right? What I want to say to you, and this is super, super important, as a projector or anyone with a lot of projected gates or channels, especially if they're in pivotal parts, like the couple of top, the sun, the earth, those top placements in your chart, if they're projected gates, you are going to drive yourself insane if you are seeking that validation, seeking that understanding from your family members. Here's the thing about projected energy. The people who can hear us, and the people who can't. So you could spend the whole rest of your life, if this is you, if this is what you have been doing, you could spend the whole rest of your life seeking that understanding and that validation of how challenging your childhood was. You could continue to seek that from parents, siblings, extended family members, and you might not ever get it. Now, it sucks, totally sucks. They should recognize and respect the fact that it was difficult or awful or horrendous for you. But if they can't hear you, they can't hear you. If they can't see and are not willing to see and get curious about your perspective, your experience, there is 0 point in wasting a second more of your precious time or energy trying to get somebody to hear you who cannot or will not hear you. So I want to tell you that whatever experience you had in childhood, I 100% believe that your experience is valid. And if it felt awful to you, I believe you, even if nobody else has. If it was hard, that sucks, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that any of us have to live through awful things in our childhood. And please don't waste another ounce, another moment of your precious time or energy trying to convince anybody of your experience or your perspective. Let them be attached to their version of the story. And instead, go and find somebody like my client did who will listen to you, who will validate your experience, who will believe you. So then you can start to work through the powerful healing that can come from being witnessed by somebody who isn't attached to any other version of the story. Go and find somebody who will listen. It is the most powerful thing you can do, because the people who can't hear you can't hear you. And you will just cause yourself more suffering by trying to get them to do something they cannot or will not do. If you would like me to witness you in whatever happened in your childhood so that you can move towards a more powerful, wonderful expression of the human being that you're capable of being, that you're here to be, there's always descriptions below every one of my videos for ways you can do work with me.